going for the last one. Okay, here we go. I've always wanted a mentor, but mentorship never came in the way I imagined. Instead of having one person in my life guide me through a lot of business decisions, I worked with a variety of people at different times, each of them who taught me something very different and valuable along the way. Now, we didn't have coffee dates or structured conversations, but instead, I simply watched their lives and learned along the way. So how did I get access to amazing people? I didn't ask. I understood that people weren't just gonna let me follow them around and learn from them. People are busy, and proper mentorship takes a lot of time. Even the most generous, sweetest person will think twice about mentoring someone, especially if they don't know them well. That's why I never asked. The first thing I did was assess how I could help them, solve a problem, or offer something of value to somebody I admired. Basically, I needed to find a way to prove that they would benefit from having me around. So let's dive into a few examples to see how this unfolded. Example 1. Early in my photo career, I learned an esteemed photographer needed help writing an article for a photography magazine, and I offered to write it for him, and so he set up a 2-hour conversation from which I crafted his narrative. Now, I won because I got a deeper understanding of his mind and his work ethic, and he won because the article was written for him. Example number 2. On social media, I discovered a photographer was overwhelmed as he moved from one studio to another. And I emailed him and I told him that I was very organized and I like to take a lot of tasks on, and I would love to offer my help for free. I insisted I simply wanted to help because the experience would give me insight on working from a studio instead of working at home, which is how I worked at the time. So I volunteered for 5 hours. I packed boxes and we shared a pizza before I left. We spoke throughout the afternoon and I walked away learning so much. Mostly that I didn't want to manage a team of photographers, I didn't want massive overhead, and disorganization is the cause of a lot of stress. Example number 3. Recently, I reached out to an entrepreneur I admire. I think he's awesome and inspiring. However, after I read his about section on his website, I didn't think it showed his personality in the most powerful way. Now, based on reading a ton of his blog posts and understanding his voice on social media and combining it with his about section, I wrote an updated about section for him. Now, that seems a little bit forthcoming, right? I mean, this guy didn't even know me, and I wondered if he would be offended by my attempt. The good news is that he emailed me back the next day and said that he updated his website with what I wrote. We exchanged emails, and though we're not friends by any means, I feel comfortable reaching out in the future if I have a question. Would I like a full-time mentor? Yes. Do I wish I had somebody guide me as I navigate the business world? Yes, but running a business ain't charity. It's a transaction of time between two people, so it has to benefit both parties. If you want a mentor, find ways to create value for another person and make it a win-win. Just remember, you have something special to offer, so trust your gut, be humble, go above and beyond to ensure that you are the type of person that a mentor actually wants to work with.